With mounting geopolitical shifts in the region, there appears to be a new strategic alliance in the making between Pakistan, Iran, China, and Russia. This also appears to be a mirror and a counterbalance of sorts of the already existing Indo-Pacific Quad. The main aim of this new alliance appears to be looking at the flux in Afghanistan while setting aside many other issues. Here's more.
Pakistan, Russia, China, Iran. A meeting of the three foreign ministers and a defense minister on the sidelines of the UNGA last week showed signs of cementing an alliance that could potentially change the geopolitical landscape of Asia. Noticeably, each of the four countries have an axe to grind with one or more members of the Quad alliance. Pakistan-India tensions, US and Russia-China pulls and pressures, deep Iran-West differences. It's a long, multifaceted list. Geopolitics experts say the counterbalancing act is evident.
The new kind of an alliance that could come up eventually would be perhaps cryptic, which I called as China, Russia, Iran, Pakistan, Turkey, Afghanistan, and Qatar, which is an outlier. So there is a certain kind of alliance which could happen, and that could also apply in the Indo-Pacific. So I don't see this just simply emerging as something against the Quad, because Quad by itself has very different kind of connotations, and it means different things to even its constituents. The way India looks at Quad and the way the United States looks at Quad, or Japan or Australia for that matter. Each one has its own national interest as well on its in its own considerations.
The meeting of the potential Pakistan, Russia, India, China grouping in New York had its focus on Afghanistan. More specifically, the impact of Afghan terror and its threat to regional and global security. A joint statement expressed concern on presence of several terrorist groups in Afghanistan. It cited presence of ISIL, Al-Qaeda, Eastern Turkestan Islamic Movement (ETIM), Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan (TTP), Baloch Liberation Army (BLA) and others, and the threat they pose. It calls on the Taliban to fight terrorism, dismantle and eliminate all terrorist groups equally, and prevent the use of Afghan territory against its neighbors, the region and beyond. There's no mention, curiously, of the Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba of Pakistan, though the symptoms are similar vis-a-vis India. Attacks by ISIL-K on Karbala pilgrims and attacks by the TTP in Bannu and Besham in Pakistan grab space, but there's nothing on terror attacks by Pakistani terror groups in India. Despite the interest in preventing the region becoming a safe haven for terrorist groups, the double standards are visible.
When 9/11 happened, Pakistan became a partner of United States in that and is against the terror and all that. So Pakistan has been playing this trick and its nuisance value, exploiting its nuisance value with all the major players, be it United States, be it China, be it Russia. Pakistan is a surrogate state of China, whereas for Pakistan, for Russia, is simply some kind of a tool to leverage even against India for that matter, saying that if you can go and talk to the Americans and all that, why can't we with Pakistan? Pakistan is an incalcitrant state. It is not going to change. It will continue to maintain that the cross-border terrorism is an potent instrument of its foreign policy. So I don't see that Pakistan changing its behavior in any time soon.
Russian Prime Minister Mikhail Mishustin was in Tehran earlier this week for consultations with Iranian leaders. Iranian President Pezeshkian will be meeting Russia's Vladimir Putin at the BRIC summit later this month. These meetings come in the backdrop of allegations of Iran supplying arms to Russia for its Ukraine campaign. Afghanistan then is clearly only one part of this new grouping's focus area. There are bigger strategic concerns at work in the new global scheme of things.